Hello, and welcome to Breakaway, Leadership for a Sound Mind and Body, brought to you by the University of Michigan Leadership Collaborative, a community dedicated to advancing leadership learning across the university for students who seek to develop and progress as leaders. I'm James McCrae, and I'm your guide on this podcast journey. In this series, we're asking you to break away from the norms of your daily routines to explore the challenges that leaders face in developing healthy habits that fuel the mind and body. So I'm inviting you to take this opportunity to do something that you consider active while we engage you mentally. Now, let's join our amazing guests as we break away.
From the Sanger Leadership Center, I'm Nick Viviano, and this is Story Lab. Story Lab is an inclusive community for students to practice the powerful leadership skill of influential storytelling. In a space where every voice is valued and respected, students take ownership of their unique perspectives and learn how to use storytelling to inspire, motivate, and engage. On today's podcast, a storyteller shares their experiences and some of the challenges finding community here at Michigan. Today's featured storyteller is Sally Moe.
The hospital had become a second home. I spent hours staring at the ceiling tiles, tracing cracks like constellations, letting my mind escape. Hours stretched into weeks. Time seemed to blur. And the world outside, it kept moving without me. The party invitations stopped coming, one by one. And it felt like everything I had, the opportunities, the connections, they were slipping away, disappearing like dust caught in a breeze. And I was stuck, trapped in the hospital with life carried on without me. When I finally left the hospital, I didn't feel free. I felt lost. And as I walked through those endless corridors, I found myself staring down at my aunt's sneakers. Her steps, steady and certain, guided me past rooms filled with machines and strangers. I couldn't help but envy her. Envy the way she walked with such direction, such purpose. I looked down at my own shoes, new, stiff, and attested. They felt wrong, like didn't belong to me. Oh, I know. I want to walk in my aunt's shoes, to feel what it's like to have her steady stride, her quiet certainty, her ways of moving forward. Then came college. Ooh, I got into Michigan. Thank you, Miss Yeager, for helping me revise all those application essays. But when I arrived, I felt like I was wearing shoes 3 sizes too big. The campus was huge, its building towering like giants. Students streamed past me in packs, their sneakers hitting the pavement in a synchronized rhythm I couldn't match. Meanwhile, I clung to my phone, staring at the blinking Buddha on Google Maps. Every step felt unsteady, like I was walking on borrowed ground. That's probably why I didn't see him coming. It happened in Mason Hall. Music blasted all around. K-pop, jazz, drowning out the chatters of students passing by. I was rushing to a meeting. I glued it to my phone. Bump! I collided with someone. Whoa, you good? My stomach jumped into my throat and I froze. Sorry, I mumbled, barely glancing up. As I stepped back, I noticed something. Movement. Behind him, dancers in worn sneakers moved in a blur. For a moment, I forgot where I was. The energy in the air was magnetic. Then I saw it. The judges' table off the side, lined with serious faces. A booming voice calls to the music, critiquing a dancer's faltered step. That's when it clicked. Oh, I muttered, my eyes dancing around. Posters on the wall read, Dance Club tryouts today. Looking 10, huh? His voice pulled me back. And there he was, grinning. Not a smug, amused kind of grin, but one that radiated ease. Clubs here are competitive, aren't there? He shook his head. Feels like everything's about looking good on paper. Don't you think we need something different? A space where people can actually have fun, make friends. I blinked. Ha! Yeah. That would be nice. Hey, you should start one, he said, so casually it almost sounded like a joke. Me? Huh, me. He shrugged. Start one, start small. His certainty caught me off guard. Like he saw something in me I didn't even see in myself. We started a Chinese sporting club. He was the president, and I stayed in the background, organizing quietly. Guess what? It felt safer there, where no one could see my hesitation. But one afternoon, sitting alone in the dining hall, I overheard a group speaking Mandarin at the next table. Their words cut through the hum of conversation around me, pulling at something deep inside. I glanced over, my heart racing. Talk to the. A small voice urged, but louder voice yelled. What if they think you're weird? What if you messed up? Ha! Stupid! I stared at my shoes, the lace perfectly tied but somehow still feeling loose. I could fake a phone call. Pretend to check time. Probably just anything to ignore this thought of talking to them. But then I thought about the hospital days, about all the times I had let life pass me by. With a deep breath, I stood. My legs felt shaky as I crossed the room, my voice trembling where I finally said, Hi, would you be interested in joining a Chinese board game club? For a moment, silence. My heart pounded in the gap between my words and their reactions. Then one of them smiled. Really? That sounds fun. Another chimed in. How did we know about this earlier? At the next event, I acted like the confident, outgoing host the group needed. I smiled, cracked jokes, and gave directions, even when my stomach filled with butterflies. And then the next event, and the one after that, I faked being certain. When the president announced he was leaving, someone casually said, Sally should take over. The words hung in the air, heavier than they realized. But as I stood there, looking at the people I brought together, I felt something shift. Maybe I wasn't pretending anymore. My shoes, none of the way.
Let's dive deeper. Sally and I spoke about her story. Why Chinese board games? Why shoes? And what advice would Sally give to her freshman year self? Hello, Sally. Thank you for joining me on the podcast today. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. So, Sally, why this story?
Why this story? This story is very important to me because it shows how I was able to evolve from this like little girl who's like envy about other people from doing nothing and then like eventually move forward with my own like passion and like my own community.
I'm just wondering now that it's over, it's out there, how do you feel?
I feel great. I did actually show the recording to my friend yesterday, and he really liked it, and that's good. I hope that more people comment on that. It's good.
I think they will. Sally, had you ever done anything around storytelling before?
I never had any formal training, but I always get a good grade in my elementary school writing class.
Okay. Okay, there are the foundations. There are the foundations. Um, I'm asking because I really loved how you structured your story. You even mentioned the shoes, and how that kind of repeats throughout the story. I loved the line where you said, where you're describing your first kind of experiences at the university, and you said, "Their sneakers hitting the pavement in a synchronized rhythm I couldn't match," talking about the other students at the university. Why shoes? Why did you choose to integrate that theme into your story?
It is because surprisingly, my first memory that I still remember is about staring at my aunt's shoes. And I was like, how can I make a story out of this? Like, and then be authentic at the same time. And then I realized I was staring at my own shoes when I was thinking about what story should I bring to Story Lab. That's why I choose to have the shoes analogy in the story. There's a theorem about like you can tell if a person is confident or not by like the way they walk. Especially in the TV shows, you know, like those like boss lady or someone like when they are out, like they have those like high heels and then they are just like da da da. It shows that they are confident, they know what they are doing. And for me, like I always walk in like a quieter tone, in a smaller like steps, and then it shows people that I am like rushing or like I'm nervous or just whatever. So I think incorporating the shoes analogy is a fun way to incorporate all those like different complex emotion that people have.
I think that is a really cool way to kind of bookmark your story and to show how you were feeling at different moments. I want to ask about the person that you bumped into, that you ended up starting this Chinese board game club with. What about him made you feel comfortable enough to take these steps to bring a new club to campus and bring a community together in a way that maybe hadn't been done before?
I first added the hospital thing to create this contracts between, okay, I don't have a community. And later, when I met this guy, he was like, we can build community together. I was like, I'm in because that's exactly what I needed. And this person seems to be knowing what he's doing because he's like chill. But like it just made me feel confident that if I'm with this person, like we can create something.
And then you did. You created something together. Um, and so Chinese board games, how did you land on the decision to create a club around Chinese board games?
It is because board games are pretty popular in mainland China. And a lot of students they already know how to play there's no a barrier for them to learn most of the game because they already know the foundation. And also, me personally, I like playing mahjong because it's a board game. If you want to call it board game, that like the last generation always play. So like when you go back home for New Year's, you can always play with your aunties or something and just build the connection within your family.
I'm curious, Sally, what year are you?
This is my second year here at Michigan.
This is your second year here at Michigan. So, first year, Sally, what do you want her to know that you didn't know a year and a half ago?
That's a very good question, and my answer will be a pretty cliche one. Is just enjoy the present. Like, stop worrying about future. You're gonna be fine. Saying from the future, Sally. Because I'm always the one who's like living in the past, worry about, okay, I said that wrong yesterday or like 3 days ago. Or like, okay, in the future, I'm gonna have a job or not. Just never in the present. And I want my old self to know that, okay, you'll be fine. Like, I'm fine now.
Hmm. I really like that. S- Stay in the present, enjoy the present. Maybe the shoes are 3 sizes too big now, but you'll get to a place where they won't feel as big. So don't stress too much now. I'm just wondering, after someone listens to your story, what is the takeaway you want them to leave with?
This is another good question. And I will say the classic fake it till you make it, but with some planning. Don't just fake it. And like growth begins when you take small, uncertain steps. And one day you'll realize you're no longer pretending. And then you are, you compose like this habit into your personality or into your daily life. Coming to this point, I have built a lot of habit that I thought I would never have. Like I would never have those traits, but by doing something every day, living in the moment, you will become who you want to be.
I think that's important for all of us to reflect on and remember. And so, Sally, thank you so much for joining me here today. And, Sally, for the record, what shoes are you wearing today?
Wear your boots.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, Sally, thank you so much.
Thank you for talking to me again. Um, it's a it's good to have this conversation with you after the storytelling, um, so that I can see where I was and have someone to join me on this journey.
Thank you for having me on the journey. Thank you for listening to today's podcast. For any of our listeners currently enrolled at the University of Michigan, we hope to see you at a future Story Lab event. Story Lab retreats where students workshop the art and architecture of story development and delivery, are offered twice during the fall and winter semesters. If you want to learn more about Story Lab, please go to our website at sanger.umich.edu. Thank you.
That brings us to the end of this episode, but your reflection on the topic doesn't have to end here. Make sure you visit our website at mlead.umich.edu/breakaway. There, you will find the discussion questions as well as more information about our guests. You will also find more episodes in the series there. Please don't forget to leave feedback wherever you listen to podcasts. And finally, on behalf of the Michigan Leadership Collaborative, please take care of yourselves. Thank you for listening, and go Blue.